higher up, right?
Yeah.
And this table is going to be centered exactly how it is. So
That's how it goes, then that's fine.
My name is Stefano Albertini. I'm the director of Casa Italiana Zerilli-Marimò here at New York University. And today we are here because we are inaugurating our new exhibit, Made in Italy, Sold in America. It's an exhibit that features original copies of the magazine, Attenzione, that was brought to my attention by one of our doctoral candidates, Marcella Martin, who believed that this magazine in particular was key to understand the relationship between Italy, Italians and Italian Americans, and how fashion became at a certain point a vehicle to mediate this relationship that is not always easy.
and two on this page.
Attenzione magazine was a magazine published in the US between 1979 and 1987. And the way fashion was presented in the magazine was not just spreads of fashion, spring 1983, but rather it was highlighting the successful careers of Italian designers, just as Made in Italy was becoming the phenomenon that it continues to be. The idea behind the exhibition was to pair these magazines with the actual garments. So as you walk through the exhibition, you can see the articles that were printed about these designers, and then you look up on the wall and there is an example of their work.
Signore e signori, buonasera. Welcome to New York University Casa Italiana Zerilli-Marimò for the opening of this exhibit, Made in Italy, Sold in the US.
Today I'll be speaking with Anthony Sugar. He is currently the editor of FMR magazine, and in the early 1980s he was an editor and a contributor to Attenzione. He's done a lot recently to bring the history out, to paint a clearer picture of how the magazine operated in those days.
It was a magazine that very much targeted Italy Italians, but needed to be read by Italian Americans. And there was a very difficult dichotomy there. Is this going to be about Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra, or is it going to be about the Missonis?
End of the 70s, the beginning of the 80s, when the magazine Attenzione is being published, there is this big trend that it seems that everything made in Italy is cool and refined and glamorous. And for Italian Americans, it's a chance to claim that part of Made in Italy also for them.
The magazine was a very powerful example of this moment in Italian American history in which fashion acted almost as a means of assimilation. And the success of Italian designers became a point of pride for Italian Americans. One object that I want to highlight is a jacket by Gino Paoli. And that particular jacket was sold in a store on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. And it's a perfect example of how important Made in Italy fashion was not only to the Madison Avenue crowd that was buying Armani and Valentino, but also to the Brooklyn crowd that was probably the more recently arrived Italian Americans that wanted to continue buying the quality that they were accustomed to, but not necessarily on Madison Avenue, someplace closer to home.